significance of going 13-3, how difficult that is to do in this league?
Yeah.
Back-to-back years?
Yeah. It's extremely difficult, and obviously it was a strong year in the NFC. There's a few other teams out there that are in that position. I think it's rare to be 13-3 and potentially be a 3 seed, right? That happened to us back in 2011, right? So a lot of strong teams out there. I think it says a lot about our guys. I mean, just down the stretch here, I think we've been an ascending team. We've been playing a little bit better each and every week, and despite the fact that we've had some guys go down, we've had young guys step up or go sign veteran guys that have come in and played well for us. That happened today on the defensive side of the ball. A couple guys in the secondary. But listen, our goal is you always want to be in a position where you can control your destiny, right? And I think we did that. We have positioned ourselves to where hopefully there's a chance that we can get a first round bye. But if not, then hey, we're preparing for whoever we're going to play this week, and here we go.
Drew, you feel like you guys are an ascending team. What do you like best about the way you've been playing lately?
Well, I think we've been balanced on offense. I think we've run the ball effectively. We've been efficient in the passing game. We've started making some bigger plays in the passing game. With different guys. And I think overall just efficiency. All the things that you pay attention to that equate to winning football, taking care of the football, third down percentage, red zone efficiency, all those things have been ticking up in the right direction, which is good. Defensively, those guys have been battling. Quite a few injuries, I think, over the last few weeks. Guys kind of, the lineup getting shuffled around, but guys stepping up, playing really well. I mean, played fantastic today, obviously, especially early on. And, for us to come on the road and win the way we have, I think, the last 2 weeks, I think it says a lot about the team. Understanding that, good chance we have to go on the road in the playoffs, right, and do the same thing. So I think it's good from a confidence perspective there.
Drew, you talked often this year about the catch radius of Jared Cook. And
Yeah.
he was talking about the back shoulder throw with the one hand.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't realize it was going to be that far behind you, but the fact that he made it look easy, it just kind of, you show us again just how, I guess, great player he is at the position, how he can do everything.
Yeah.
He keeps offense needs.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, big catch radius, right? So, Eric Reed's a big safety, and that's the guy who's on him, and yet you still feel like there's places where you can throw the ball where he can get it, nobody else can. And I think he tracks the ball well and does some really good things down the field too. So, big play last week, big play, this week on some of those down the field throws, and obviously he's a big weapon for us.
Drew, you guys set the NFL record for fewest turnovers. Speaks to that efficiency, but 8
Yeah.
turnovers in a season seem pretty
Yeah.
preposterous.
I'd say that's probably the thing we're most proud of. When you talk about this offense, I think you talk about it being explosive, and you talk about these weapons and the pace at which we play, and just and so I think for us to be able to say that, yeah, and in addition to that, we also take very, very good care of the football. It's something we preach, it's something we work on, it's something that's always talked about and always stressed with what we do. So that number alone equates to a lot of winning football, right? And then you combine that with some of the other things we've talked about, the balance and the efficiency in situational football and scoring points when you get the opportunity. Those are good things.
With so much up in the air for playoff seeding, can you take a look at what objectives you had just for this game, things that you wanted to see happen, especially for the offense, for you guys to?
Well, we want to move the ball. We want to score points. We want to be efficient. We want to spread it around. We were able to do all those things, take care of the football, obviously, and then get the win. And get the win in a way where we felt like we got better today, and I think we did.
Drew, they showed his birthday. Does he acknowledge it at all? Did y'all even talk about it?
Yeah, they actually interrupted his post-game speech with kind of a song over the speakers in the locker room. It turns into club, whatever, in the locker room after the game, and so yeah, we had a song for Sean. Wish him a happy birthday.
Drew, how hard is it to, when everything's, you got those high stakes in the last game, the other team has something to play for it, to focus and bear down and get that type of win you had today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen for everybody.
No, listen, it's there's obviously a lot of meaningful games, in this Week 16 for a lot of teams around the league, but especially I think in the NFC. And so, you watch the way that Green Bay Detroit game went today. It was Detroit jumped up big, and Green Bay kind of fought their way back, and ended up kicking a last-second field goal to win. Obviously, big game tonight with Seattle and San Francisco. Those are games that affect us at this point. So we'll be tuning in and seeing how it shakes out.
Drew, based on how you guys are playing this right now down the stretch, you feel like it doesn't matter. I know you'd rather be at home as many playoff games as possible. This team game translates anywhere.
Yeah, I like to think that. Listen, we if you look, I know a lot of people talk about the Superdome and obviously talk about us being a dome team, and bottom line is over the last 10 years I think we've won more games than anybody except for the New England Patriots on the road. So I think that's saying something. I think it's saying something about our teams. I think it's saying something about the way that we're coached. I think it says a lot. And this year, we were 6-2 at home, 7-1 on the road. So bottom line is each road game presents its challenges, right? It's the crowd noise, it's the conditions, it's all those things that you kind of gauge, depending on where you go. But you have a plan for it, and this game is still about energy and execution. And I feel like that's something that we've really done a great job with everywhere we've gone.
Drew, are you aware of what's going on in the Detroit Green Bay game while you're out there playing?
Well, in the fourth quarter, you're starting to peak up at the thing when you feel like obviously we have the game in hand. And check that score, and then obviously we watched it in the locker room after the game, the finish there.
How good is this team? How good do you feel going into the playoffs about where you're at? You're relatively healthy, this time of the year as a roster. How do you feel? Are you ascending, ticking up?
I feel like we're an ascending team, and that's been something that we've talked about a lot over the last month, especially is. The teams that really do well in the playoffs, I think, are those teams that are playing their best football at that time, and even maybe taking a look at it and saying we can get a little bit better, each and every week. And again, I think when you look at our stretch of the last 5-6 weeks, I think that's the way it's been each and every week. It's just that emphasis of how do we get better, how do we improve, how do we get ourselves into the form that we want to be in going into the playoffs. Not, hey, foot off the gas and relax, and then once we get to the playoffs we'll crank it up again. No, it doesn't work like that. You gotta be pedal to the metal.
How rare is it to just actually gather as a team and watch a game immediately?
Yeah, listen, you'd rather be in a situation where you totally control your own destiny, right? And maybe everybody's watching you, but you're obviously sitting there hoping for the result that's going to put you in a position to get a first round bye, and unfortunately that didn't happen there. But there's still a chance, and we'll see how it plays out.
Do you guys turn the music up right after that and kind of go back to your celebration? We can just hear it come back up in this room.
Yeah. Listen, we work hard so we can have fun, right? And obviously everybody did a great job today, and so that's part of, I think, what makes this team special and unique is the fact that we can have those moments together, we can enjoy those moments together, and we look forward to those. We work hard for those. So yeah, we cranked it up a little bit more, and then but now it's unfinished business.
I guess I meant after you guys were done watching the Packers game. After that it was out of control. So
After that it was more. Well, usually Sean would address the team right when we get in the locker room, but the game was on, so we watched it and then turned it down, allowed him to talk to us, and then we went on with our business.
How proud are you of this team, considering what you all been through the last few years? A lot of people said that you'll never get off the mat again.
Yeah.
Here you are.
No, listen, you go back to, well, listen, the full story hadn't been written yet, right? But But 2017, you know, the way that season ended, obviously, in Minnesota, and then bouncing back and you know, putting ourselves in a position where we get to host the NFC Championship game last year, and then what happened there. I think it says a lot about this team. The grit, the determination, and the love for one another. That we continued to press on and believe that, you know, our best was yet to come, and hopefully it is.
Drew, just going back a little further than even coming back from 17, how about the 3 straight years where you didn't make the playoffs? Pretty impressive how this team has sort of rebuilt itself without ever getting the floor.
Yeah, listen, you guys have been around as long as I have, you know, so we've had these conversations, but yeah, 14, 15, and 16 were tough years, you know, tough years because I felt like we had built a level of expectation around here, right? And we had great leadership, and we just had a way of doing things, and felt like there was a big shift, you know, in 14. Obviously, we lost a ton of leadership, and felt like things started turning in the wrong direction, you know, and maybe we took for granted the fact that guys understood, you know, what we were all about and what the foundation by which this organization had been built in the Sean Payton era, right? And so it took a little while to then go out and begin to assemble the pieces again, right, that would kind of create that new generation, you know, moving forward, and reestablish the foundation and the culture, you know, by which, you know, we knew were conducive to winning. And I think you look at the results of that now over the last 3 years, what we've been able to accomplish, all the games we've been able to win, and how we've won them. It says a lot about the character, and the toughness, and the integrity, and the leadership of the guys that we've been able to go out and acquire, both through free agency, through the draft. Says a lot about, I think, our organization and our guys like Mickey Loomis, right? Guys like Jeff Ireland, guys like Sean Payton, and others who've worked so hard to build that again. All right, guys.
Thank you, Drew.